Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I see the chat. You guys are impatient. I would be too, because there's a lot to say about this game. There's a lot to say. Let's start with this. This live episode of Jocks and Jills is brought to you by SharkNinja. We love all three of their brands, Shark Beauty, Shark Home, and Ninja Kitchen. They're a proud founding partner of the PWHL, our presenting sponsor here at Jocks and Jills, and presenting sponsor of the entire 2025 PWHL playoffs. Holy man. What a night, Tessa. It could be summarized by the second period. Do you want to make a quick comment before we bring in our very special guest?
Yeah. These teams are so evenly matched. This playoff series is awesome. And I am so stoked we're getting it. This is a rivalry that I want every year. I'm going to every Minnesota-Toronto game everywhere. This is wicked. I hope everyone's enjoying it as much as I am. And they're being as loud as I am in my basement when the game's on. It's wicked. I love that how these two teams match up. It's so perfect.
It is so perfect. And we have the absolute perfect guest to break it down. Let's bring her in. Taylor Heise'S from the Minnesota Frost, celebrating the win tonight. So kind to join us. Hey.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
There she is. Good. Thanks for coming in. Guys, in the chat, we've upgraded our interview settings. I hope you're proud of us for that. Taylor, give us the immediate reaction in the post game. Actually, let me ask you this first. What was the conversation like in the dressing room between the first period and the second period? What specific adjustments did your team make before you came out for the second period?
Yeah, you obviously talk about not being too high, not being too low, and then getting really good sticks on pucks. I think the last game we played them, it was really important for us to come back this game and just be better. I didn't think we played well. They played their best, I thought, and today they brought it as well, and we brought it. So I think after the first, we just solidified that we had to go sticks on pucks. If they're going to bring the battle to us, we got to bring it to them too, and just get on top of pucks.
Taylor, I remember you were our first interview. You were one of our first episodes that we dropped. And we love you for it because we love chatting with you. You guys, you're the best. And you said, I like to send it. If someone's going to take a run at me, I'm going to take a run at them. And I felt like that was really the attitude and the swagger you went on it with in the second period. You're like, F this, I'm taking all the momentum myself. Come on, team, let's go. Malte went to go line you up and you were like, no. This ain't it. Was that your thought mentality heading out there? If someone's going to do it, it's got to be me.
Yeah, I think I wasn't happy with my game last game. Just talking about it with the coaches, I didn't have the spark, I didn't have the jump, and you just can't do that in playoffs. And I want to be there for my team. So I think after the first, I knew it was getting chippy. If I'm a target, I'm a target. I don't care. You can bring the fight to me. That's fine. But I think when you see someone trying to line you up and you're a little bit bigger, I'm going to go for it all day.
Was that beef between you and Malte? Was there anything chippy happening before that, or was it just that moment?
A little bit, but hockey's chippy. I think this rivalry, like you mentioned, this is one for the ages. In my opinion, it's go for Badger, from my college ages. So I think just having the momentum and the mentality of, obviously you don't want to punch someone out, but if someone's going to bring the fight to you, that's what makes it fun. All in all is good and fun, I guess. And I'm going to bring it. Obviously I don't want to get sent to the penalty box, but if you got to set a message and a standard, I am willing to do that.
I want to talk about your line real quick because you guys were a factor for me in this game. And it felt like there's a moment in the second when Coyne left and I was like, oh no, are they going to lose their spark? And I felt like it didn't. You guys were just yourself. Cava was just we're cruising, we're going, we're rolling. Everyone was just all bought in, really following your line's lead.
Yeah, I think when we played last game, we were following our blue line's lead. That's our fourth line. They brought it every single shift of that first game, and that's the reason why it was so close. In our line, we know we weren't happy with the play. We all talked about it. We said we don't even need to say more than 3 words. Flush it and get going because we got to be here for our team today. And obviously, when you see Kendall get out like that, she takes hard hits, and she gets right back up. So when we saw her leave, I was nervous for her. I wasn't nervous for the team. I know she's going to get back out there. And when she did, she made this grand entrance, and she doesn't want to do grand entrance. She doesn't want the spotlight. She runs out as we're about to get on the ice, and I see a little 26 past me, and I was pumped. So just happy for her. But yeah, I think our line, we were really rolling off each other today. And Kendall brought her speed. Kava brought her shiftiness. And I just wanted to be there to support both of them. And getting shots on net from all 3 of us today was huge.
Last one for me, Julia. Last one for me. I got to talk about that game-winning goal and how it came to be because that was a nice feed from you. I thought you were going to take a big hit on it, and I was like, she doesn't even care. And Sophie Jakes, a Buckeye, whom I love, what she means to your team and how important it is to have your defense who contributed a lot offensively today.
They've been contributing for months now. So I think you look back at that, Lisa, long stick. I never want to go against her in practice. I've said it 15 times. I'll say it again. And then you got Sophie with the poise, Claire skating the puck up. We got everyone back there doing their job. And I think on that play, Sophie dished it to me. And I knew the second I see someone take a step towards me, you just got to find the triangle. And Sophie scores all the time. So getting it to her, I had no thought in my brain. I think I already celebrated before it went in. So I'm just happy for her, and she brings the energy. And when she does bring the energy, you get excited because Sophie's pretty even keel. But when she gets up, you get up too.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned her long stick. You didn't mention the fact that she's an absolute sniper. What's it like for your team to see Lee Steckline producing at the pace that she is right now? Like, it's got to be so rallying for your group.
Yeah, she's a great leader too. She takes it as she gives it, and I think we all take full accountability for all our actions in every game, but she's always there and she's taking accountability for everything. She's played in a lot of minutes, but she gets up and down the ice. I mean, she's got a long stick. She's got long legs. She gets up and down the ice. And for her to get that many shots on net on a game, I think that's a game changer. Any D, if you can get over 5 to 6 shots on net a game, and she's getting primetime scoring opportunities, that's big. And we talked about it after the game that our power plays kind of come to life in the playoffs, and that's kind of when you need them, I guess. But we're just excited that we have everyone contributing right now.
Yeah, last one for you, Taylor. How excited are you to head back home? What are you guys going to take into Game 3 Sunday?
My God, I feel like I haven't been home in months.
The fans are excited.
We're excited. I think, obviously Mother's Day. Shout out Amy, my mom. Love her to death. Really excited to get back and to celebrate with my family and friends. But, it's like we said last year, you can steal a game on the road, which we couldn't. Until the Game 5, that's huge. Come home with a win, get that momentum. We fly home. We play 3 games in 6 days. That's tough, but I think we're up for that challenge.
Love it.
Absolutely.
And thank you for the merch you sent us, by the way. I tried to pull mine out.
So nice. Yeah,
it's dirty in the laundry. I didn't want to pull it out all
worries.
rank, but I wear it and I dig.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Grace and I appreciate that. We love it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Taylor
Thank
Heise'S,
you.
everyone from the Minnesota Frost. They tied the series 1-1 with the Toronto Scepters tonight with their 5-3 victory. Holy Tessa, we didn't even really have a chance to catch our breaths before.
I want to
we were
touch
so lucky
on
to
one
get Taylor
thing.
on. Yeah.
I want to touch on one thing. She mentioned Mother's Day. For everyone out there who isn't sure what to do for their partner on Mother's Day, buy a whack load of tickets and send her with all of her friends and have them over for a boozy brunch and then ship them off to the game so they can have fun, manage the children, and let them come home late, all wobbly kneed, and just fall into bed, and then don't even wake them up when the kids get up in the morning. That, my friends, is the perfect Mother's Day gift. So
I
Minnesota,
cannot imagine. Yeah.
fill the
Minnesota
rink with moms.
and Montreal moms. Could you imagine 2 moms that want that more? Like, no, it is the perfect gift for Mother's Day. I know you guys are all slacking, so make sure you buy tickets or PWHL merch. Specifically, get your mom out to a PWHL game.
We know Molly Panic's going to be there.
We know there will be a big mom contingent out in Minnesota and Montreal on Sunday. Do you want to talk merch since I just mentioned it?
I was going to say, perfect segue. Look at you being a host.
I know. Okay, you guys have been asking. Buckles, actually, do you want to come in for this? Because you're basically...
You're a merch shop.
Our merch plug right now. You look like you're sitting at a little stand. It's actually hilarious. I feel like the chat is going to get a kick out of this.
Yeah,
there's Buckles. She's peddling our merch. You guys want to buy any merch? Yeah, Buckles has got it. Seriously, this is our very first merch drop. We're excited about it. It's the first time you can rep the Jocks and Jills brand. You guys have been asking for it for a while. Let us know what you like from this, what you don't like. We're open to feedback. We're more hockey people than clothing or stylish people. Buckles is going to drop the link to the US shop and the Canadian shop in the chat. So Jocks and Jills merch is officially official, and we have been so suspect about it. We've just been posting it, not saying anything. This is the official. Yes, there's Jocks and Jills merch.
Yes. Guys, this is also a Mother's Day's gift idea. Just saying, throw it out there. I'm just saying, there's so many ideas for Mother's Day. People are always like, Mother's Day is so hard. It's it's not. We just want quiet time and nice clothes.
Mother's Day is hard because I can't afford any of the things that my mom deserves. So here's a scented candle and a pedicure,
Maybe
nice
tickets to Minnesota.
Or maybe tickets to Minnesota. That's close. You can't buy your mom an island, but you can buy her tickets to the Minnesota Frost or Montreal Victoire game on Sunday. What else do you guys want to get into from this game? Becky Kellar is going to join us in a second from her spot in the broadcast booth. Do we want to start chronologically? Maddie Rooney got the start. Tessa, you talked about that after game 1. You kind of predicted it. Yeah. Ken Clay likes to go with...
Just because That's it. That's his thought. It's like I'm not picking favorites. I'm not saying one over the other. Win and you play. Lose and that's okay. Like I'm not mad at you, but that's
You'll
just
play
what
again.
it is. Yeah, because they're both equally great. The other thing I think we should touch on is there was no Britta Curl in the lineup with her suspension that she found out earlier today. So that was an adjustment for the team game day.
Yeah.
And again, I felt, was that fuel for their fire as well? Not sure. But it seemed like none of their lines really missed a step. Does that make sense?
No,
Like
they did
it
not.
just felt like it was like, all right, next player up, let's go. We're rolling.
Yeah, I was expecting
Yeah.
the power play to be a little bit different, but even then the power play was firing tonight. So good for them to step up.
sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree to
That-
agree, Buckles.
Buckles agrees. Don't you guys agree in the chat that Buckles looks like some sort of merch peddler right now?
I feel like I'm at a concert and I'm like,
Guys, Buckles is running the chat. So I got roasted on the Montreal Ottawa game. By the way, everyone, if you weren't there, I was trying to make amends with with Ottawa fans, trying to weasel my way back in that rink because Julia and I were banned.
Guys,
and
yeah. I want to
I
bring
give
I
it
don't
them.
think it's
very-
happening.
I gave a very legitimate reason, and everyone was like, "Shut up." And I was
Yeah.
like, damn it. So if everyone could just give me the night off and just jump all over Buckles, that would be so appreciated.
Guys, we don't have to do that. We could just, ELE. Everybody love everybody in the chat,
Yeah.
No, it's the
Well,
internet.
this is
so
a
it's
place
hard.
of
There always
love
has
and
to be-
acceptance.
There always has to be a victim on the internet, unfortunately. It's always going to be one of us.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into the second period, the Heisey Maltais stuff? Like, the second was one of the wildest periods of PWHL hockey I've ever seen. It started with a little bit of feistiness, and then it turned into Minnesota going up 3-1 and Toronto coming all the way the heck back.
Yeah, I felt like I would like to give a shout out to like I was thinking about how to say this, but I was just like, wow, look at Ottawa doing Toronto favors in the playoffs. You got Haley Skimura getting her first playoff goal, which was a bloop, but whatever. It
Yeah.
counts. No one asked how. They asked
Those
how many.
giant shin pads, they were just working out there. I
They
tweeted the
were
link to that.
going hard. She was cruising tonight. I'm not sure if she chugged a couple Red
I was
Bulls
gonna
or
say,
what was
Scammy
going
looked
on
good
there.
out there tonight. I loved it.
Yeah, the old turbo boosters were kicked on.
Does Scammy have Red Bulls?
Probably not. No,
I know. I was just going to say that.
that body's a
I
temple.
just
No.
threw a flag on that play. I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no way she's crushing
did
energy
not.
drinks."
No, she
Anyways,
had a
that was
nice-
nitpicky of me, but I was honestly curious about it.
She had a nice cup of tea.
Yeah.
And then Savannah Harmon getting a power play goal as well, which I love to see. So, but anyways, just starting in the first, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Starting in the first, it was nice to see Scam score. And it was like, here's Toronto again, getting on the board first, really chug-a-lugging along.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're only leaving the first period having played a bit better than Minnesota with a 1-goal lead. Then
Yeah.
you come out in the second, and Lee Steckline was like, guys, I can't remember if I told you, but I'm a goal scorer now.
What is going on with that? No goals in the first 28 games this
Dude.
season. 5 goals in her last 4
5.
games. Like, first time a defender gets 3 points in a period in the PWHL. She's just cruising right now. I love it. It looks so easy for her.
She's rewriting the narrative for defenders. She's like, we'll take all the spotlight now.
I know. I feel like this is such a Buckles and Tessa thing. Like 5 different defenders got on the board tonight.
Sign me up,
Love it.
Julia. What I love about it is like this kind of, I don't want to say like you saw it at Worlds, right? When she was she scored the first goal for Team USA at Worlds. She is prototypically known as the perfect stay-at-home defender, shutdown D, best in the world at it. Like you heard Taylor Heisey, I don't want to go up against her in practice because she's that good. And that's Taylor Heisey, who is one of the best as well. And so I think for her to add this, dynamic to her game, just especially at this point in her career, like how many times has Lee Steckline technically stepped away?
I know. It's amazing. Like
Right?
having her back at Worlds this year was so big for Team USA.
Yeah.
And her game is just continuing to elevate.
Like it's official. You heard it here. Lee Steckline is never allowed to quit hockey because apparently she's got levels she still has to reach. She's leveling up.
Yeah, every time
Like
she walks
fine
away,
wine.
she comes back with an extra star. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
The old booster.
Yeah.
Love it. To be honest, when we talked to Heisey, I was like, Heisey is so upset that her team is not doing well. And I'm actually going to pull up my notes right now because I kept writing things down and I was like, this is hilarious. Because I was like, Heisey goes at Malte goes at Heisey, big hit. And it was like, Heisey was just chippy and like angry and going at it and throwing the bod. And I was like, she's the one. She's the one that's going to turn this. Someone's going to get a goal off of this. It might be Heise'S or it might be someone else. Obviously, it was Lee Steckline, but I felt like Heise'S really started that for her team. Truly, I do. I felt like her line really created that. They were the ones that were just like, all right, this is what we have to do. We're going to go out there and do it. And it might not have even been a verbal thing. It might have just been a look at one another. And sometimes that's all it takes. Like you just give your buddy a look and it's like, let's go. You know what I mean? And then Kava on her goal, she was all over the ice in the ozone on that play. I was like, oh, Kava's hungry. And sure enough, like what a goal too, right? I mean, she's
Put it right
sniffing
in the
around.
perfect spot.
She always is. Goal scorers are.
I was
She
going to
knows where to
say,
be.
she found it.
Her timing's impeccable. She's sniffing around the net. She's not really engaging with anyone around there either. You can tell everyone kind of just left her alone, which Cav is a very potent goal scorer when she's in and around the net. You can't leave her untouched. What my dad always says, lay the wood on him. Make him not want to be there. Like even if she's going to skate through, give him a whack somewhere where it hurts, specifically where I do, top of the laces. However, she just kind of beetled on through there. Puck bounces off the back of the boards, and that was a goal scorer's play. That was a really tough angle. Like she beat Campbell on that pretty good. Albeit Campbell's probably going to watch this game back. I'm just going to take a pause on this and just be like, man, I let that one slip away a little bit. This wasn't a 5-star performance by Soupy by any means, but it's not all on her because this was a great game and she did make some good saves.
Yeah.
The power play goal by Steckline, Buck, I got to give your buddy Dom Petrie a shout out for this.
Let's go.
It was technically a lost draw by Minnesota, but Dominique Petrie jumped on her horse, got that puck back, and went right to the net, exactly where she's supposed to be. And when you do that, especially with someone who's got a bigger frame like Dom Petrie, who is really hard to stop and like an aggressive player like that, it kind of I don't want to say it rattles a tender, but it really makes them acknowledge them. So it kind of draws their attention to them a little bit and pushes them back in their net. And with that, Steckline lets her rip from the point and the puck goes right in. So like what an apple by Dom Petrie. I would have given her 2 assists.
I gotta say, I think she filled in for Curl on the power play today, and Dom is absolutely the worst person to deal with net front. She is a nightmare. She is solid, and she'll lay the wood right back. She will make you feel it as well. So
Lily has the sweetest face in the world too.
She is all hell.
Yeah,
I loved my chat with her. I was like, I could have a beer with this kid. She's cool.
Yeah. So out to be Dom. Love it.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to see Toronto's pushback in the second period though when they tied that up.
And this is the cool thing is it was Heise'S line that was like, all right, guys, we're dragging you into this. We're going. Like we're going to win this game. And then Malte was like, hey guys, what in the world is going on here? Yeah. And like Malte's a little bulldog out there and she hates losing. And she was starting to go. And you saw her line up Heise'S. Like Heise'S was coming over the blue line. Malte was salivating. She was like, yes, because she played boys hockey full contact. Remember?
Yep.
She knows how to take a hit and she knows how to give a hit. And I don't think she was ready for the wrath of Taylor Heise.
It's not a bear you want to poke. It's not a bear you want to poke.
No.
Likes to send it.
But if you're a player on the Toronto bench and you saw Malte, who's half the size as Heise, go after her like that, not letting her gain the blue line easily, and then taking a shot to the back of the head like that and getting up and like giving it back to Heise a bit, if your bench isn't going, your bench has a problem. And the bench was like, all right, we got you, Malte. They go out there. Harmon scores her first playoff goal on the power play. And I liked it. I thought it was great. There was traffic in front. It was a great shot selection. Malte, again, just doing what she needed to do, dragging her team back in the fight and earning some of that momentum back, giving us this glorious second period that we were all, loving and enjoying. And then right after that, it was like, 20 some seconds? Allie Monroe's like, all right, guys, let's do this.
It was crazy.
Walks off the wall. Great shot. I felt like Rooney was off her angle on that one too.
I was going to say tough angle shot, but who knows when you toss the puck on the net, good things can happen. Right. And that goal was a great example of that.
Yeah, for sure. Third period was so tight. I was unsure. I was like, okay, let's just see if Coyne comes back. And sure enough, you heard Heise'S say Coin did, which I think was also a little bit of a booster for the team. Like, what a morale boost. Your cap.
She's right. Like, Coin soaks a lot, man, and she hops up.
Right?
Just she's so tough. So for her to leave the game, like, she took a heavy hit there. And I can't imagine the morale it brings to Minnesota when they see that little 2-6 skirting on the ice and not saying a word about it.
Just getting back out there, ready to go.
Just to slide in and make no attention about it.
She doesn't have to say anything. That's the beautiful part about her as a leader, right?
Yeah.
Just follow her lead.
Speaking of injuries and veterans that come back, we saw Sarah Nurse before we bring in Becky Kellar here. That huge collision. She stayed on the bench for a while and then she left. Man, it's so unfortunate, especially when you think of the way, and it's not last year and it's not at all mirroring last year, but Toronto didn't have issues with health. It's like they didn't have their roster all season. They finally have their roster back together, and Sarah Nurse goes down with that injury. I guess I'm not going to call it an injury. Yeah, we don't know.
Hopefully nothing serious. But I don't want to see any player leave this series, truly. I like it the way it is.
It's so good. I want full health on full health. Like, I really want to see who is the better team in the series. They're so well matched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
I think Becky Kellar is ready to join us. Buck, if you don't mind taking a back seat, we're going to get Kellar in here.
Hey, Becky, how are you? Thanks for hanging around for us.
Yeah, no problem, you guys. What a game.
Appreciate you. What a game. We've been talking a lot about the second period and that flurry of 5 goals that were scored. How did, Becky, because I'm honestly still not exactly sure, how did Minnesota separate themselves from Toronto in the third?
I don't think Kristen Campbell had her best game.
Is that what the margin was in the third?
Yeah, I really think that was the margin. I thought the fourth and the fifth goals were kind of weak. And, which is tough. You need your goalie to be big and to come up with some big saves. And I thought both those were kind of, a little on the weaker side. So, so something she's going to have to regroup and come back. It's tough to be a goalie, right? Like, I mean, well, it's you back there. So,
yeah.
And you can see her talking, to Carly Jackson at the end of the game. So having a little one-on-one goalie combo before it ended. Yeah.
CJ talking her up for sure.
Yeah.
One of the best teammates. I think what you can take from that though, as a goaltender, and I'm not a goalie, so I don't know their mindset. I'm really curious about it though. I love goalies' minds. I think they're so interesting. Is the fact that, okay, they beat me on my bad night and it was still a close game. Like that Sophie Jakes goal, the game winner, she's going to look at and be like, you didn't beat me. Like I beat me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It squeaked in. I mean, and credit where credit's due. Minnesota can score. That's what they've done all year. They've scored more than every other team in the league. And so they did that again tonight. And I mean, how about Lee Steckline for a moment?
Yeah.
Shall we? Offensive juggernaut that is all of a sudden become this goal scorer. Didn't have a goal all season until the last 2 games of the year. And then she puts up another couple tonight and an assist. Like, that's pretty spectacular. And she can shoot the puck, right? Like, she gets her chances, but she's not the player that you're normally looking to for that.
Yeah. Who else stood out to you, specifically in the third as well, for Minnesota to help make this game fall in their favor?
Well, I think all game, I thought the Heise'S line was better than they were in the first game. I didn't really notice them at all in the first game, and we noticed them tonight, even with Coin Schofield going out and then coming back in. I thought we saw them a bit more. Cava, obviously getting the goal, which was a nice goal, but I thought Heise'S was moving her feet. There was a few times where, you may not see it off camera where she kind of reloads through the neutral zone and comes in and picks up the puck. So she's got a head of steam when she's attacking, and stuff like that makes her really dangerous. So I thought they were better tonight. Their fourth line has been good. So I like them as well. They got some of their opportunities. So kind of a total team win. Claire Thompson has been good as well.
Yeah, she stood out tonight, actually.
Yeah. I feel like I heard you say the name Channel Watkins a lot.
Yes.
Tonight, Becky, and then she was able to convert on the goal. I know, I feel like she's underrated. Like, she was all over the place tonight.
She is underrated, and that's the kind of the role that I think she plays. Just defensive, right? Like, if her partner's up ice, she's the one back doing the sliding, take away the 2-on-1, great defensive play. I really liked her game. Icing on the cake to score, right? Icing on the cake for it.
Well,
yeah.
It's nice to see, right? Spread the love a little bit.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say because I'm a defender too, Becky. But how about the defense providing offense for Minnesota? Do you think that's going to be the key to their success throughout the rest of this series and maybe the rest of the playoffs?
Well, no doubt, because they've done it all year, right? And they've done it better than every other team all season. And you look at who they have on the back end. I mean, we say Steckline's not an offensive D, but you know that she's going to get opportunities, power play, throw pucks on net. But then, I mean, Sophie Jakes and Claire Thompson, that's your D-core, like your three, leading the way. I mean, that's pretty outstanding. So yeah, you should, if they don't get offense from the back end, I think you should be more surprised at that. Like they should be. That's what they're built for, I think. I remember Ken Klee last year after they won, and we were down talking to him. And Tess, I don't know if you were down there, and we're talking about the draft. And right away, he's like, well, there's that Claire Thompson. And I remember Pounder said she's really offensive, and Ken's like, yes, I know, right? That's actually what I'm going for here. So yeah.
It's funny. I guess Lee Steckline probably wasn't in their plans to be that. And now she's suddenly the star of that.
Yeah.
Playing on Minnesota.
Well, who knows, awesome. Right? Sometimes you get that. It's like, wow, their fourth line's been good in bringing offense. You don't bank on that. But when you get it, it's a bonus, right? And that can kind of tide you over till your top two lines get going. So
totally.
Yeah.
Totally, Becky. You're in the building right now, Becky. I know you haven't left your perch, so you haven't been able to probably poke around on Sarah Nurse, but we saw her go down the tunnel in the third period. What did you make of that collision?
I don't know, because it looked like she had a gash on the nose. So was it just the mask riding up? Was it just that? I wonder.
I can't imagine a player in the league that would be more pissed about that.
Yeah.
I actually can't imagine one.
Yeah, true enough. She might be big gash on the nose.
I'd be right there with her. Like, it's gonna look tough. I can't wait to see it. I feel like she's gonna rock it.
You look like a hockey player when you do that. But I always worry too when a player reaches out with that arm, because you're really exposed for your shoulder. But she didn't really seem to be holding the arm funny, but you're never quite sure, right, on that, if it was just the nose or if there was more to it. It was a big hit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
At the end of game one, I asked you, do you think Klee's going to go back with Hensley, or do you think he's going to throw Rooney in? He ended up deciding on Rooney. What did you think of her game this evening?
I thought she had one weak one too. I thought Toronto's third goal was kind of weak. It looked to me like she kind of looked and went, there's Spooner on the doorstep, and she gave her a little bit of attention and then pulled away and left some space exposed. So I don't know what he'll do. I was a little surprised because I thought Hensley was really good, but he's really gone back and forth all year. And he did say to us, we went with Hensley because she was so good in the last two games, but Rooney's last game against New York was a 2-0 loss with an empty netter. He's like, she was really good there too. So I feel like he was like, well, if one goalie gets a loss, then we'll just switch it up. Yeah. And he did say that Hensley was fine, but we noticed a point in that game, in game one, where she was giving her leg a shake. I think Turnbull kind of crashed into the net. It was right before Julia Gosling's first goal. And so we were kind of like, and we said to him, is she okay? She had that moment. He's like, no, she's fine. So I don't know if there's anything to it, but
starting rumors.
Yeah, I'm starting rumors. I'm starting rumors.
I like it.
We'll see.
I like the idea of starting rumors.
If there's, why not? Something to think about, everyone.
Something to think about. Spicy, tweet it.
Yes. Is there a spicy tweet? I know there's spicy tendies.
Spicy tweets and spicy tendies.
Listen, if there's nothing to this rumor, I would say Hensley's got the net again on Sunday. I know Rooney got the win, but
really?
I would, because I think she was better. But could be crazy. Call me crazy.
I think he's got this formula where it's like, if you win, you stay in. If you lose, whatever, next person, your turn. And if they win, then they stay in.
He might.
Just not thinking. There's no mind games for goalies, because the goalie mind games that coaches play sometimes are brutal.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't at all. And he does obviously tend to do that, because if he's just going based on how you played, Hensley's back in. So it's got to be you didn't get the win. And I think he's done that throughout the season. It's like, play till you win, and when you don't, then we'll talk about switching things up. But you're right. I don't think he plays any mind games with his goalies. It's pretty upfront.
No,
it just seems cut and dry.
Yeah.
Last one for you, Becky, and we'll let you start heading home. Other than maybe we'll keep an eye between the pipes. Anything else? Like, what are you expecting in Game 3? Do you expect a response from Toronto? Do you expect Minnesota to come out firing on home ice? It's so hard to predict momentum between games in a playoff series, but that's the show. So we'll put you on the spot. We'll ask you to.
This is a tough one, because Toronto was out of their tree in game one, and the forecheck and the whatever. And I don't know if it's sustainable to be that good for 60 minutes against a team as good as Minnesota. Minnesota had a great push in the second period, right? Like I thought they gave up the 2 quick ones, but I mean, they were really pressing. So I don't know what I'm hoping. And I say this all the time, which is funny. Tessa, you'll agree, I was a stay-at-home defensive defender. I'm like, just goals, everyone. I like a lot of goals. 8 goals. I love it. I'm hoping for that. You watch, they're going to lock it down. It'll be 1-0. But I'm going all in on the offense. So fingers crossed.
All right. We love it. We love it. We love goals. We love you, Becky. Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
call tonight. And safe travels to Minnesota.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Here she is, Becky Kellar. She's calling the game tonight alongside our friend Daniela Ponticelli. Minnesota ties a series in Toronto, 1-1. They're tied with the Scepters, and what a game it was. Wild second period, 5 goals. They were tied 3-3 after the second period, but Minnesota pulls ahead, and it ends up 5-3. Let's take a quick little break here because we have very exciting news. American friends, cover your ears. This is not for you, and it might make you a little sad because we talk about this on the podcast all the time. Our friends at Pizza Pizza, who we love so much, have extended our beloved free delivery promotion right through the playoffs. Guys, that includes every single home and away playoff game for the Scepters, the Victoire, and the Charge, which obviously means for every single PWHL semifinal game in the playoffs, you guys could order Pizza Pizza and get free delivery. You just have to enter the promo code PWHLDEL for online and app orders at checkout. Minimum $20 spend on game nights. Take advantage of that promo.
Can I
Tessa,
tell you something?
like, I don't want to expose you. Yeah.
I did. I took full advantage of that today. Fridays, last Friday, we were out. The kids always play in the streets. They're ripping on their bikes and the little mini cars that they all drive and their scooters and whatnot. And it was so hard to drag the kids in for dinner. And I looked at all the other neighbors. I'm like, guys, Fridays, we should just order pizza. Yep. And just have them eat outside. Like, I don't care. Run around with a piece of pizza and drive in a little car. Don't care. So we did. We did tonight. And I was like, hey, everyone, I've got a little inside for you. We're getting free delivery. Everyone was like, yeah. Kids didn't care, but the adults did.
Did our favorite driver show up who did the commercial with us, the ad for Instagram?
Yeah. Okay, the same guy. He delivers every time. What do you mean? He's my guy. That's my guy.
I love him. We love you guys. Pizza Pizza. They've extended their free delivery every PWHL game through the semifinals of the playoffs, so you guys could get free delivery on your pizza. Buckles, we got anything interesting happening in the chat right now after this one? Anything you want to update us on?
There's so much good.
Before we get to our factor of the game. Okay, give us 2 good ones.
So much good. Okay, let's see here. Well, there was one comment that said, bring merch to Ottawa, you guys. So I think you guys might be invited back, which is...
Whoa, or is that just your merch stand? Because you're allowed in.
They said
That's
Tessa
what it
specifically.
Is.
They
Guys,
said Tessa bring merch.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you. This feels nice.
Okay, here's a good question. What did Minnesota do to prevent the waves of Toronto offense we saw last game?
Did it look the same though? Like, did Toronto's forecheck look the same? Were they bringing the forecheck in the same way? Like, did Minnesota adjust, or did Toronto not bring the same heat? I'm honestly asking Tessa because I don't know. What did it look like to you?
No, I thought all 4 lines on Toronto were forechecking just as hard as they always were. It's just what would happen in game 1 was Minnesota would get the puck and try and break out, and it would just get kiboshed in the neutral zone, or it'd be a chip in. Renata Fast would do her one-woman breakout right back the other way, back in the other end. Now it was like, we're going hard one end, other team breaks it out, they're going hard the other way. And it's like, this game was a perfect game, especially in the second, for a battle of momentum. Just back and forth, back and forth. And in the third period, I was going to text it, but I didn't want to. But I was like, whoever manages the puck the best is going to win. And when I say that, that means like usually the team, so on each blue line, each respective blue line, 10 feet inside and 10 feet outside, whoever takes care of the puck the best, whoever turns it over the least in that zone usually ends up winning the game in big games, or in most games usually. But there's also other areas where like puck management is important. For instance, there was one shift where Renata Fast was racing to the corner. She had 2 Minnesota players tracking her, and she looked and she didn't really have anywhere to chip it to put the puck. So what she did was she just pinned it on the boards, took the hit from both sides, and waited for someone to come in and help. That is proper puck management. It's not throwing it away. And if you are, you're throwing it in the right spot. So sometimes you're like, oh man, I got to dump this in. And you look and you're like, I'm going to do a cross ice dump because I see someone's jumping on the ice for my team. This is the Renata. Watch this play. There's 2 players. She was looking around. I'm not too sure. Someone come help me. Okay. So they're battling. No one's throwing the puck anywhere. Renata and Harmon here are actually talking. Harmon, great play. Puck goes back low. Renata's going to take it and she's going to put it into a safe area. She's going to put it back by the Minnesota blue line. It's not an ice. It's not just outside of her blue line. It is in the Minnesota zone. That is a proper play. That is how you manage the puck. It's going to give someone, not everyone on the forward line if they're tired, it's going to give 1, maybe 2 players an opportunity to go off and get fresh legs on. So this is where puck management, I was like, third period puck management is going to be huge. And I felt like in that third period, I didn't feel like any team ever had like a bad moment except for on the game-winning goal, Sophie Jake's game-winning goal. There was a turnover in the neutral zone that I was like, no. And then turns the other way. And I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. And sure enough, because I didn't think Jake's had an angle. I was like, this is going to be a far pad shot for a nice rebound. Yeah. And instead it was a squeaker and the game winner. But in my opinion, that was the difference in game 2.
Yeah.
Between the forechecks and what you're saying. Minnesota actually brought a game today.
Right. Toronto's forechecking the same way Minnesota was defending. Buckles, can you explain to me what's going on in the chat
with Butter? I'm trying to keep up with this. Somebody referenced me as Butter.
Can you guys explain to me? I think it's because
good.
Our YouTube girl said something. Yeah, they said you can't. We missed out on
an inside joke. Butter.
I'm embarrassed about it. Yeah, I'm embarrassed about this. Buckles, we'll do our factor of the game now. We'll have you back in a few minutes.
I'll get to the bottom of this.
To keep breaking this down. Can you try to get to the bottom of what's going on with Butter? Because I feel like we're left out of an inside joke on our own show, and I'm like a little embarrassed about it. I know. We need to.
Whoa, look at this one.
Whoa.
Tessa, we love you in Ottawa. All is forgiven. Come back, Bon Homie. And they even use Bon Homie.
That's so
Heather
awesome.
Graham, my new bestie.
You guys are real fans when you use Bon Homie. Like real ones know.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's get to it. Our factor of the game brought to you by Factor Meals. Heat, eat, compete. Guys, Factor is Canada's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Rethink ready-made with Factor. Enjoy fresh, never frozen meals at your door. We love Factor. When we're looking to eat a little bit healthier, it's so nice to have them delivered right to your door. You just heat them up. You don't have to do any cooking. You don't have to do any thinking. If your partner wants chicken and you want fish and you don't want to make both, you just throw them in the microwave. It's the best thing ever. So thank you so much, Factor, for sponsoring this segment. Tessa, let's get right to it. What was your factor of the game?
I will just say this first. I know it's heat, eat, compete. I feel like there needs to be a repeat at the end of that. Factor, you've got your own thing going. I get it. But every time you say it at the end in my head, I'm like, repeat. Maybe they'll take that on. I'm not sure. So my factor of the game is Taylor Heise'S and her line. I've talked about it. You heard Kellar say it. It was undeniable. That line, yep. That line had 3 points on the night as a unit, but more importantly, this line, they were the spark plug. They were the straw that was stirring the team's drink. They were literally just towing the rope. They're like, come on, guys, we're going. Let's go. They just dragged their team into this win, and everyone bought in and was drinking the Kool-Aid. It was awesome. Everyone else scored, sure, but they were the one that really took the moment and kept their team's momentum. Wildly impressed by Coin's comeback as well, we mentioned earlier, but they by far were the factor of the game for Minnesota.
Yeah, they were so awesome tonight. All over it. What moment do you think that they were what moment did they pop out to you the most? Was it on the Cava goal? Was it a moment that they didn't score?
It was
that an effective play?
Beginning of the second. I was one of their first shifts. I was like, okay, but I'd seen Heise'S in the first. I was like, okay, Heise'S going today. Heise'S hungry. And I noticed Coin was a little bit chippy at one point near the end of the first. And I was like, all right, this line, let's see what happens in the second. Are they going to come out flat or whatever? But no, they weren't. They were just they all bought in and they all were driving the truck and everyone was jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's bring in Buckles because I think we have an answer on what's going on with Butter in the chat. And it actually is hilarious. I see what happened here. It was like an AI thing. You guys were talking about food in the chat, and then the chat recapped what you were talking about. And ultimately, I think what the chat said is that the Seattle team was going to be called the Seattle Butters at some point. Let me know if I have that right. So that is pretty funny, and I understand why that has become.
I actually
I'm glad that
went
we're
to
in on that.
Google.
It will not be
And I
called
was
that.
like, am I
I will
missing
say-
out on
you heard that here
trend
first.
right now of butter? Like, that's how sad I was like working so hard on this.
I can't deal with Buckles. It
You
looks
guys
like
want
she's
one?
selling merch at a concert.
It's
Like,
so
she looks like
great.
she's at the Budweiser stage right
Put
now.
your bun. Put your bun
No.
lower.
This is
so
also
we
part
could
of the
see the
merch.
merch bag. You got high bun
Yeah,
today.
you can get your own
It's-
bun.
Oh, right.
Buckles' bun should be a merch. It kind of is eating off Emily Clark's play,
It is.
but
You
I
can't
feel
steal
like
that.
you guys
I'll fight
both need
Clarky for
bun
that one.
merch.
I'll fight Clarky.
Who has rocked the bun for longer, would you say? Because I've seen, honestly, Clarky's bun, like, you swipe through her
Yeah.
Hockey Canada
Yeah,
photos,
actually-
that bun starts early.
Mm.
And just like
Yeah.
yours, it grows
Yeah,
up
it
her head.
depends on the
keeps
time of
getting
day.
higher.
Although Buckles is started high, and I felt like it's moving lower.
It depends on, I've learned that it's like a mood ring. It depends like what kind
I
of
didn't
day
think
she's
you'd
having,
catch
where it
on,
is on her
Julia.
head.
Right, fair.
I know. You can tell that Buckles is having like kind of a poppin' day. 'cause
Perky
it's
on her
perky on her
noodle.
noodle
That
right
is
now.
Ridiculous.
egregious. There it is, Perky on her noodle.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Okay, you guys got anything to say about this second game in the Minnesota-Toronto series? Before
I
we
want
move
more of
on?
it. I want all of it.
Absolutely.
I want it all over again. I want this one going 5 because I want so many of these games. I want the league to make an exception and make
I
them play
wanna-
7. That's how much I'm loving this series.
This series actually does scream Game 7. It's there's no game 5-game series that screams Game 7.
And seriously, I just want to
This
keep
series
seeing
is
Lee
fun.
Steckline snipe.
Yeah.
So let's just keep that rolling because that is my favorite storyline.
I
It's a
totally
gooder.
agree. I
Also
totally
a friend
agree.
of the show. Also friend of the show.
Yeah, she was awesome when she came on here. So
Mhm.
love to see her doing well. Okay, let's start looking ahead. Game 2, Ottawa, Montreal. Ottawa got the win in Montreal in Game 1. Man, that was a good game. It was a close game. It had all the hallmarks of a Montreal-Ottawa game.
I
What are we
actually
looking
I got
at
a
for
question
game
from
2 here if Montreal's bounced back?
MKel2749 asking, what are you looking for from Montreal to come back? What should Ottawa continue to do? So tossing it to you guys.
All right. So what
Yeah,
should
you go
Ottawa
first, Jess.
you want me to go first? You do Ottawa, I'll do
Can I say
Montreal.
the stat? Can I say the stat that made me like pee laughing as we were coming off the air last night?
Yes.
Because I'm so sorry that I'm not giving credit to this hilarious tweeter, but as we were coming off the air last night, I was like, oh my gosh. I read a tweet aloud and it said the only 2 PWHL teams that haven't won a postseason game
I
are
know.
New York and Montreal.
I know.
What
It's
the hell? The
insane.
helly? That doesn't make any sense at all.
No, but it does.
Yeah, but it does. So how does Montreal break this curse, Tessa? I don't know right now.
They just keep with the game plan. Like I didn't think they had a horrible game. It just felt dry, if that makes sense. They had chances, but I felt like there weren't enough. Like I want to see Laura Stacey every time she has the puck. I want to see her driving the net. I want to see play like Teresa Vanisheva. Every time you have the puck, make it a scoring chance. Be a threat. They need to push. Reason for this is because they need to push Gwyneth Phillips back in her net a bit more. And players need to like skate by her a bit and give her a little nudge to have her distracted and really start thinking a little bit more outside of just focusing on the play in front of her, right?
Yep.
And another way that this team, another key to success, I guess I should say, for this team is Anne Renee Desbiens. I don't think she had her best game last game. So I expect Debbie to show up in a very
And
big
with
way
Ottawa, I think
Sunday.
continue to do what they were doing. I think there's a reason why Desbiens didn't play her best, and it was because they were getting in her blue paint. They were creating some scrums out front, and I think she's a pretty emotional goalie as well. So
She didn't like that.
those mind games work on her. I think that's her one flaw for sure. And so continue to drive the net, get in that blue paint, physicality, wear them down. Like this team loves speed. This team is also strong, but continue to bump them, make it difficult, and just keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
In my next life, I want to be whoever does like pre-scouts for goalies. I was listening to the radio today and Noodles always makes me laugh. He's like, it's funny how many NHL pre-scouts you go into and the guy comes in, he says, yeah, the goalie doesn't like traffic in front. Like it's just, goalies don't like traffic in front.
No.
Put traffic in front. Even if you're the best goaltender in the world, like Anne Renee Desbiens, it's not going to fare very well for you if you can't see the puck. So yeah, if they
the way
keep
I
their best
relate
out
it
there.
is like a mother trying to go to the washroom with 2 young kids. You can't. Door gets opened and someone's sitting on your lap. That's what it should be like.
You know what's really funny is I know I don't have kids, but I have like 6 eyeballs on me every time I take a pee. I got 2 cats, a dog, and they're all staring at me. And I'm like, I'm shy, guys. I can't do this. Buckles got to meet all my pets today, and I feel like she was fully immersed in my
fight.
Animal Planet.
I didn't know that your animals had beef with each other. It was crazy. Actually, I want Jackie
siblings,
to put it up in the uploaded version. I'll send in the video that I got. They were throwing paws like crazy.
No way. Yeah. I love cat boxing. Cat boxing's hilarious.
Oh, it's even funnier when she's boxing a wiener dog. Like the content is electric.
Eye to eye too. Actually,
yeah.
Enzo might be really slightly under. So yeah, it was unreal.
He is. He's a little shorter, but he's insecure
So
about that.
good.
We won't mention it right now on the podcast. Okay, we're looking forward to this doubleheader on Sunday with a game 3 and a game 2. Do we want to make some predictions right now about game 2? And I guess we should make some predictions for game 3 while we're at it.
Oh, right.
In Toronto, Minnesota, because we won't talk to you guys till after that. Just so you know, and I'll update on this after again, but we will go up. There won't be a live show after both games on Sunday. We'll do one big live show after Toronto, Minnesota game 3. So when both games are over, we'll go live. We won't go live after both. Anywho, what do you guys think? Let's go the game that's going first. Let's go Montreal, Ottawa. Our prediction for that one. Game 2.
I'll go first. I'm going to say Montreal in regulation with authority.
Love it. Love it.
I feel pressure because I've been rolling on these predictions. So I'm going to say Montreal in regulation.
I know it's hard.
I do think that they're going to bounce back after their last showing.
I'm going Ottawa in OT, I think. I think I'm going Ottawa in OT. I like the way Ottawa is. I like the way that they're looking so loose right now, and I'm really scared of Gwyneth Phillips.
This is Julia just trying to get back into TD place.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm not going if you're not going. There's no one of us getting unbanned. I think right?
That's how that works. Somebody said that I'm writing the script
face on
for the PW. So yeah, that's true. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Keep writing it then. Let's go with game 3 between.
I'm gonna say Minnesota and OT.
You start this time. Oh, I like it, Tessa.
I was gonna go with that, but I'll just pick. No, I can't. Minnesota's going to win it at home, the first game, but Toronto will take the next.
See, and I think Toronto goes in there and wins game 3, but I also think that they split in Minnesota and they come back to Toronto.
Oh, this is exciting
for game 5.
Julia.
Yes. Thank you guys so much
you're unbanned
for tuning in post game.
From Kaylee. Yeah. Congratulations. Tessa, you were asked to bring merch. So guys, this is looking awesome. We love the charge.
You guys want us to come?
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to start crying. This has ended my night so well. That's so nice of you, Otto.
Hurry up, call it. End the show before anyone bans us.
We got to get the heck out of here before you guys change your mind. Reminder, we will be live following the Toronto, Minnesota game 3 on Sunday. We won't go live following game 1. The podcast will be posted in its entirety the following day. We'll recap both games. We'll see where we sit then. No games on Saturday, so you guys enjoy your day. Maybe do some pre-spoiling of Mom, and we'll do some pre-shouting out of Tessa, who's our resident mom here on Jocks and Jills, and does so much in balancing her day-to-day life and wrestling with her kids as she's trying to do a podcast and cook for them and get them up every day. So thank you, Tessa, for being our mom here on Jocks and Jills while also parenting 2 real children. It must be hard to have children added to your list that you didn't birth, but
love doing all of it. Love doing the pod, love raising the kids. So it's all good. Okay. I will be going to a monster rally on Saturday. Yeah, monster truck rally.
That's what every mom wants to do on Mother's Day weekend.
Go to the Minnesota game. Get your tickets.
Oh, man.
That's actually something that moms would want to do, I think. So, guys, get your tickets to go to Minnesota or Montreal if you don't have any for Sunday. We're pumped for those games. Enjoy some time outside. Spoil your moms this weekend. We will be back then with the games. Thank you so much to our sponsors, SharkNinja, Factor, CCM, Pizza, for helping us put this on night in and night out. Appreciate you guys for staying up late night with us. We'll talk to you after the next couple games.
Go buy our merch.